In the following three examples, problem 1b, problem 2, and problem 3, we will use the property of negative exponents. Let's recall that an expression with a negative power ends up on the opposite side of the fraction bar as a positive power. So our goal is to take negative exponents, make them positive, so we can then simplify further if needed. So let's start with part A, which has an exponent of negative 3, which belongs to the 4. So currently our fraction bar is not visible, but recall that when it's not visible, it's always underneath the number with the 1 in the denominator. So now let's go ahead and write our fraction bar. And the 4 to the power of negative 3 goes from the numerator, drops down into the denominator to make this exponent a positive 3. Let's place a 1 on top. And now let's go ahead and simplify this. So 4 to the power of 3 means 4 times 4 times 4, which when simplified, 4 times 4 times 4 is a 64. So we get a final answer of 1/64. In the second part, part B, we have an exponent of negative 1, which belongs to everything in the parentheses, which in this case is the 2.5. So again, this is currently in the numerator. We're going to drop it down into the denominator, leaving us with nothing on top, so we just place a 1 there. We rewrite the parentheses 2.5 with an exponent of a positive 1 now. So let's go ahead and simplify. 2.5 to the power of 1 is just itself, 2.5. Now, you cannot leave a decimal in a fraction. So to simplify, we go ahead and divide, and we get 1 divided by 2.5, which is 0.4. So our final answer, we'll leave in decimal form, 0.4. Now in part C, the negative exponent of 2, so negative 2, belongs only to the 10. Because the negative is not in parentheses with the 10, it's separate. So we just take that negative, write it over here. Now let's create our fraction bar. The 10 to the power of negative 2 drops into the denominator to become a positive exponent of 2. And we use a 1 on top. Now let's simplify this by expanding. So recall that this does mean 1 over 10 to the power of 2, which is 10 times 10. And that turns into negative 1 over 100. Lastly, in part D, the negative exponent of 4 belongs to this base 2. So we are going to take that up into the numerator, making it a 2 to the power of 4. There's no need to write the 1 when the 1 ends up underneath. So we just expand this now, and that gives us 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, which when multiplied out gives you 16.